Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to try a chapter from these 5 books. In case you didn't know, Books from K's is a charity that donates books to missionary kids. If you want to donate to the kids, you can do so at GoFundMe.com. There's a link down in the description. There's a card right up here and a button at the end of this video where you can donate to the kids. For months, really for years, I keep meaning to do the try a chapter tag. I guess it's sort of a tag. But the try a chapter thing is where you try a chapter from several books and then you decide, am I really gonna read any of these? This year I have a goal to read 100 of what I call my get rid of it books. These are books that were either given to me or that I got really cheaply at library book sales or used book sales for like 10 cents or $1. And I thought, this looks sort of interesting. I'll pick it up, sure, maybe I'll read it someday. And of course, some of them have been sitting there for years and I have never picked them up because I always find something better to read. So finally, I'm gonna go through these books. I wanna get rid of or actually read and find out that I really love at least 100 of these this year, which is quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is take them in groups of 5 and I'm going to read the first chapter of each book and then I have to decide which is the one that I am least likely to read and I have to get rid of at least one of them. I mean, that's not a hard and fast rule. If I really just loved all of them, you know, maybe I wouldn't hold myself to that rule. But the goal is to kind of try out some of these and get rid of some of them and not waste my time with them anymore. So I'm gonna sit down and get to reading. I read the first part or the first chapter. This doesn't really have chapters. It has like part 1, part 2, you know, but it's very short, you know, it's really tiny. So the first part was only 26 pages. This is Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and it's a story about an actual seagull who is trying to learn to fly and do sort of tricks in flight, like do really amazing dives or really close to the ground gliding. And all the other seagulls think he's an idiot. Like, the only reason you need to fly is just to be able to catch your food. You know, why do you want to do all this fancy trick flying? The first page really grabbed me, and the first 26 pages are definitely interesting. I am really interested to read this. I might just finish this one up right away because I don't think I can wait. I want to read some more from this one. My sister actually years and years ago recommended this to me and I bought it, and I just never did pick it up because I guess I just wasn't really sure what it was about, and I was like, whatever, it's, you know. But now that I know what it's about, I'm really interested in it. I have read some of Gary Paulson's other books and really liked his writing style. This one is Mud Shark, and it looks, you know, sort of silly and cute and everything. It's about this boy whose nickname is Mud Shark, and I figured out that he's kind of like Encyclopedia Brown. If I had known that this was an Encyclopedia Brown type of book with this really smart kid in school who solves, you know, little conundrums because he just has this amazing memory and he reads all the time and stuff. If I had known it was that, man, I would have picked it up way sooner. I loved Encyclopedia Brown when I was a kid. I still read Encyclopedia Brown because, man, Encyclopedia Brown's amazing. So now Mud Shark is very similar, so I am definitely going to be reading this one. And again, it's just a short little children's book, so I'm excited to read this one too. I picked up With Fate Conspire at a library book sale recently, and it was kind of a cover buy, and I kind of was interested in the idea. This is Victorian London, and there are fairies who are secretly living underground. So that sounded pretty cool. It's kind of a hunk of a book, but I thought, hey, fairies living underground in steampunk Victorian London, you know, it'll be great. And I think this is definitely the one that I'm going to get rid of. I read through the first chapter, and I was just not impressed. The writing style is very forced, and like the author's just trying too hard. It's kind of verbose and doesn't really say a lot. I prefer writing that is powerful but concise. And this is just a lot of flowery stuff because the author's trying to be, you know, fancy or something. Also, within the first chapter, there's the F word. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I do not like profanity. It just bothers me. So I don't want that in there. So the fact that they already had the F word in the first chapter, like, it's probably just gonna get worse. I'm just not interested in it. So, oh well, you know, I mean, it was what? It was 50 cents, it was $1 or something. So this one, I'm just gonna probably just donate it straight back to the library. So I bought it from the library and now they can have it back. But they got $1, so that's okay. The next one is Emily's Fortune. This is kind of an old Wild West tale. I'm trying to get it where it doesn't like shine in your face. Yeah, it's just shiny. I have read other books by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor, and she is a hilarious author. Her children's books are just so funny. But I have not read any Wild West books by her. So it's kind of like, I don't know about this. I know I like this author, but I don't know if her writing style is going to translate over into a Wild West adventure thing like this looks like. But the very first chapter was just so fun and hilarious. I really like that her writing style is very snappy. You know, it's clever and snappy. Just has lots of little interesting details and moves along very quickly. So this is the story of a girl who her mother dies and she is off on an adventure to find her aunt. But there are people who want to throw her in, you know, like in the system and take her to an orphanage and stuff like that. But she keeps telling them, no, I'm going to stay with my aunt. So of course she's on the run. This looks adorable and very funny. For years, I have been meaning to pick up Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I hear such conflicting things about this book. Some people really loved it. Some people really hated it. I've never read anything by Maggie Stiefvater before, so I'm interested, you know, just to see what happens. The thing that made me say yes to this book, I didn't read just the first chapter. I read actually to chapter 5 because the chapters are like 2 pages long. Like there's a chapter, you know, so that didn't really give me enough to be able to say, okay, I have an idea about what this book is about. So, I mean, I read to page 13 and that was 5 chapters. That's kind of crazy. But in the last chapter that I read here, there's a boy who is a werewolf who works in a bookstore. And I was like, a werewolf in a bookstore. Yes. Yes, please. I need this in my life. So we're gonna try it out. Hopefully I won't end up being disappointed in this one, as so many people have sometimes told me that they are. So my first try a chapter is a success. I have 4 books that I'm gonna be reading this coming week and 1 book to get rid of. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know, have you ever done the try a chapter thing? Or have you ever picked up a book and read that first chapter and just, oh no, this is not the book for me, and just donated it to the library? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.